Welcome to another episode of Mikey's World. Today, we're going to be playing with Alfred, the Gambler 500 car. That's right, we're taking this on the Gambler 500. And that thing right there, that is a 2004 Toyota Corolla. It's got 29-inch tires, BF Goodrich KL2s, my favorite. It's also got a 1.5-inch lift kit. Came from the Amazoner, but it did show up at the house in an eBay box, so maybe they're in cahoots, I don't know. But anyways, today we're gonna be painting this hood for this old Alfred, and we're maybe gonna put these old eagle eye headlights. Yeah, they're actually eagle eyes. I'm not just copying off of Puddin's Fab Shop. We're gonna put these old eagle eyes in this old Corolla, that way we can maybe drive her at nighttime. And if we get to it, which we're probably gonna be getting to it, we're gonna put this bad boy on the front of that. Now, I did already do some cutting and some measuring, because these things were on the side, and I definitely didn't want to keep those because that's way too much. Now, you're probably wondering, where did you find this? This thing is one of these. It's a push guard, cattle guard, it's a pusher thingy for the front of a car. Technically, it's for a 2001 to 2006 Chevy Suburban. But instead, I'm gonna chop this bad boy down and shorten it, and then weld it to the front of that Corolla. Now, I already did take some measurements, like I said, and this, from this point to this point, is 36 inches wide. Now, if I were to leave that, it would be blocking the headlights, and I don't want to block the headlights off. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna chop 7 inches off each side. And that's because this thing's kind of at a curve. I can't just chop one end off. But I'll take the 7 off each end, and we'll take this from 36 inches to 22, maybe 21, somewhere in the range. Pleasable enough to be able to let the lights come right past the dang grill guard. But before we get to the grill guard, we gotta paint the hood. We gotta let the hood dry in the meantime of welding up that bad boy over there yonder. So these are my colors. Now, I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do right away, but I got the red, the yellow, the white, and the blue. So I don't know, maybe you could tell me what you're thinking in the comments on what I'm gonna do, and then see if you were correct by the end of the video. You'll probably see it come together and then be like, dang it. But those are our colors. That's our hood for Alfred. So obviously I can't just spray paint this if I want it to last for a little bit. So I'm gonna use the plug-in sander. Sander down real quick with some 120, maybe less, 220 somewheres, at least enough to get all these rock chips out of here and disappeared, so my paint looks somewhat smooth. We're not gonna worry about this big dent in this area because there's many dents on this thing, and it's gonna give it more character, because this is not the original hood for that car, because obviously you could tell there's nothing there. And that's because this poor little Alfred here was wrecked in this area. I straightened it out a little bit, but you could tell there's some bad, okay? But we're gonna try and reshape this and maybe try to get another headlight in here eventually. Probably not today, but we will get that one in at least. I may have gotten carried away quite a bit. All right, so here it is. I think my camera died while I was going to town, but there were so many rock chips here and then rust that was under it that I just had to keep going. But then I feathered her in, you know. Don't worry, the dent's still there. We left that one. But now I think it's time to do some metal prepping and spraying of one color and letting it dry. Here's the metal prep we're gonna use. You know, we've used it a few times now, so it's mostly gone. We're just gonna hose this rag down a little bit. You know, hose her back up. We don't want to spill it now. Dry rag here and dry her down. So I should probably be using a better rag than this one. You know, one that doesn't leave all these fuzzies behind. But, you know, for a spray paint job, gonna come out tits. Perfect. So we're gonna go with the white color first. Shake it up, spray it down. Not light, nice. A nice light, even coat here. Come back, do it a couple times. Since this hood looks so good and it needs a chance to dry now, let's try and get these old eagle eye headlights or headlight in the one that we can, and then warm snack. Holy cow, that headlight gives it all sorts of extra character. Super easy to put in. Two bolts, because these old eagle eye headlights came with bulbs in them, minus the turn signal bulb, but that's just a twisty inner. These just had to clip in the electrical clip and bam, look at that shiny old thing. Woo doggy. I gotta get that protective cover off, but man, I don't want to, because you know, keep that thing clean as possible, as long as possible. Got some stuff changing. We brought the grill guard over yonder way because we took the hood out there in the sun so it'll bake late. And then we measured out, you know, where we want to cut off, and we ran a piece of tape straight down all the way, so we had a straight-ish line. And then I just cut in between and wrapped them around. So now I'm just gonna slice and dice every one of these poles off on one side, and then take this, slice and dice them off this little bracket here, and move that whole bracket over yonder, stick it down, weld them tubes back in, and then that should hold this piece with the rubbers on the front that you should be able to do the bumpy with and hold them all together, bolt it down, look good. All right, well, it took a minute to find some glovers and some glasses, but you know, I finally found them. I got the slice and dicer ready to go, so let's slice and dice. So we got this piece all cleaned up. She's ready for the zappy zappy weldy weldy. But let's come over here and play with this hood for a minute and see if she's dry enough. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, plenty dry. So what we're gonna do is use this bucket lid somewhere's in this range. And we're gonna do a blue stripe here and a blue stripe here. We're gonna use this as our width. And I can't tell you why yet, because that'll spoil the whole reason I'm doing this hood. I don't want to tell you till it's done. So we're just gonna create a straight line here and a straight line here, somewheres like this, okay? And so this is what's happening here, guys. We got the one side lined up, so we moved our bucket over yonder way and we did the lines again, and hopefully we should be able to get a straight enough line on the inside of these going side to side. That's the plan. Will it work? Maybe not, but it'll work for me.
Okay, now line it with about the middle of that tape.
Dig it?
I think so. That's a good eyeball. Wow, it almost hit the corner, dude.
I know.
You out on the corner?
Same. Right on it.
Okay, let me truck up just a tickle. So I hit that corner.
All right. So we'll be painting this section and this section blue. But if you check out here, we go from outside to outside. We got about 11/7. We come a little closer in, about 11/7/8. Again, 11/7/8, and again on the end. So that's close enough for me. I'm gonna take it and run, okay? And then we're just gonna mask this whole centerpiece off because I want to keep this part white. I know it's getting confusing, but hang in there, it's gonna get interesting. So we got this masked off, and you know, we might be a little premature. We did get a little scuff on the white here, that when we did put the tape on for our markers, but you know, it's okay. It's not got to be perfect, it's got to be good enough. And worst come to worst, if I gotta come back and just redo this white little section after everything's done, I can mask all that off and get her done, no problem. Time to put some blue on. Oh, that is blue. There it is. Do some more baconating with the sun up there, and now we're gonna wander back up there and play with that push bar. Yep, we got that bad boy in there with some boogery caterpillars. Not bad, but not great, you know, but they're gonna work. So now we're gonna work on these guys, tacking these guys back down, and then we move to the other yonder side. Nothing like some booger tacks won't hold. You know, not too bad for not knowing exactly what I'm doing. Since this part's pretty close to comfortable enough to run, let's chop this side off and do it again. So I think we're good to go here. So let's peel this off. Definitely messed up the paint on the white. And there's the paper stuck to it.
Oh my God.
Dang it! Bummer. We were a little too early once again, but you know, I'm good for that there. But I dig the colors coming together. sander down and put another coat of white on. So I'm a little sad, you know, but I did it to myself on masking just a little too early. You know, I should have waited a couple more hours, but I get so excited sometimes. I just want to see what I got in my head on the thing, like right now, and that was this moment. But I just learned the same lesson. I just continue learning over and over again, but that's fine. That's how I know how to fix this, is we'll just run a new line right at the edge of this blue and then come back, sand this white down, not get close to our edge now, and then we'll come back and spray it white again. No big deal, no harm done. I should have waited a day, but I dig the blue on white here. I can't wait to tell you and show you guys what the rest of this bad boy is gonna get, because we're not done yet. I still got 2 more colors to add to this bad boy. So there's no real sense in being sad about that all day, you know. Let's just move on to our grill guard and let's maybe get somewhat of a visual in our head of what that's gonna look like today. Got this puppy tacked on. Let's finish her off. Scent. Not too bad, not too bad. Flipped it over, got that front side done. Turned out a little better than the back side. But I done plumb ran out of welding wire. Dang it! So that means I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow and get all these little tubes put on after I bring some wire back. Just saying that I shouldn't be getting all of it done today. I just need to save some for tomorrow. Oh, that is perfect though. Can you guys see it? You seeing what I'm trying to do now? How does that puppy look, man? I think that thing looks, woo! Just freaking wicked. I'm so excited. I got her just temped up so we could just look at it. I went ahead and put these things bolted back on so I could just take a look-see. And can you just look and see? Dang thing gonna look wicked. We're back on the hood today. So this is my goal, or my solution to my problem. We're gonna take a little bit of that 400 grit and give her a nice quick little sandy here. Get all the light stuff off. Cause, you know, it's definitely dry now. Overnight. All right, now we're gonna be a little bit more aggressive. Now, which one of you out there started singing it in your head? Be aggressive, be aggressive. Which one of you was it? Go ahead, comment for me. But anyways, got the 120 grit now, and we're gonna go hog wild on this paper. We're gonna be careful of our line now, because we don't wanna go on the blue. We don't wanna redo that again. Struggling here a little bit. You know, the paint's still not, it doesn't want to be sanded very much. You know, we've gummed up paper after paper, you know, and it just kept happening. So Grandpa's, the smart one over here, is like, well, why don't we just put some water on that, you know, the blank. But so we did, and it stopped gumming up our paper and actually doing what I want it to. So I should have did that from the start. Metal prep this bad boy. Now that we feel comfortable, we'll just go ahead and do the whole hood. That way our tape's got somewhere good to stick to. I do like this cool little rustic look, so I'm debating on if I leave it or do the whole hood like that. But for now, I think I really want to see it all done prettied up first. Now that we got her all cleaned up, we're gonna use this 3M tape here, you know, because it says on the very bottom, reduced edge bleed for sharp paint lines. So, you know, that's kind of what sold me. And it's super thin, so we can probably do a little curvy around for, you know, what's coming later that you guys don't know about. But right now, I'm just gonna take this tape here, I'm just gonna run it just like barely back on that blue line here. That way we recreate our white just on top of that. And then we got a nice clean pretty white. There it is. You can hardly see the green there. You get up on it, you can just see a tiny little blue edge there. And I told you it's gonna be tiny. But this tape here sticks way better than that dang green tape we used yesterday. Now I'm gonna run a blue line next to that so we can run our paper and we don't worry about the white masking tape ruining our blue, because it's still a little fresh. You can feel it. All right, get some white back on this bad boy. I went ahead and moved our hood in the baking room, let it dry out. And I started getting the old cheapo welder set up again so I can finish up the push bar that's back there. Finish it up and maybe start thinking about mounting it up on that thing. Last few boogers to add to the booger weld list, you know. But they're held on tight. They get covered up with these things. So let's try and get her set up here somehow. Mocked up, starting to make measurements and stuff. So to do that, obviously I'm gonna have to get rid of this foam and my license plate here. And then I can do some more official stuff. So you know how I forget about you guys sometimes and get carried away and do a lot of work and don't record any of it? Yeah, I just did that again. Dang it. You know, I was mocking some stuff up to get ready to view or to record and stuff, and the next thing I remember is the thing's already welded on. So I got the grill guard welded on mostly. You know, I might have some other stuff. It's pretty darn solid. That's real cool. I made these things detachable, so all I gotta do is just put some nuts on them. I also came over yonder here and gave us another coat of white. It's looking pretty darn smooth. Except for when you get up on her, she looks like she's got all sorts of cracks and stuff in it. So I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna have to do this section again. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let it dry. This push bar is pretty wrapped up for now. There's a couple things I'd like to do. I don't know if I'm gonna do it yet. Like maybe chop some of that off and maybe paint these sides black and leave the chrome bars. I don't know. I got the nuts on so these bars won't fall off. I'm gonna test drive her, give her a couple runs and see if it hits anything, and then we'll go from there. As for this hood over here, yeah, she's not looking too good. It's definitely drying, but it definitely has wrinkle marks in it. Dang it. And the sad part is I peeled back this little section here and the blue got ruined with the tape again. Gosh darn, it was 24 hours. On a good note, this thing is pretty solid. You know? Definitely needs struts. It's well, and I mean way beyond the 48 hours that this hood needed to dry, you know. So I'm saying it's been a couple, 3-4 days or so since I've been working on the Corolla, did the push bar in this hood and stuff, okay? But, you know, it's dry. We're in good shape now. I did do a little test sanding, and she feels smooth now. I ran this tape because obviously you can see all this blue smearing on there, and last time it was kind of a pain to get off the white, so I'm just gonna sand in 3 sections and then I'll tape off my white, and I'm just gonna paint my white today, wait the 48 hours again, and then we'll do the blue, and then wait another 48 hours to do the next color, and another 48 hours for the next color. I got a little help here. Little bit of help. Alex and, you know, Phoebers, she wanted to come along today. So here's a little what we're doing. We're just gonna give her like a light sand and obviously get rid of this tape line that we put in the blue because we didn't wait the 48 hours, and all this weird markage from the paper. And then once we get this section and this section sanded down, then we'll just tape those off and we'll sand down this white and then retape it with some good tape and spray her down. Sanding time, that's all. You know, more sanding like always. So I actually decided to go with the wet sanding method because the paper was gumming up really fast. So the water's been helping that. Wipe her down and see how she looks. Got this puppy sanded down. We brought down the door so the sand don't get in it. I got the white ready to go. Well, almost. Now it's ready to go. I put 2 little markers, one here, and I know that where I want this end, right on the corner here. And I'll just put a little marker right here, and then same deal here, we know on the corner. And now I'm just gonna sprayulate the white, obviously in this section, and who cares if we missed onto the blue, we'll come back and run our lines and go. Boom! 3 real fast, heavy coats, and it's white. So now the wait of 48 hours, maybe a little more, for this white to dry before I could put some tape on it. That's very hard for me, is waiting. I'm not very good at. It's been days and days, but I got the blue on the hood. It looks good. We did have a couple mishaps, you know, the blue ran through my masking paper, bled through is what I mean. But it'll buff out. At least I hope it will. And we're kind of getting to the point to where, you know, I can't really hide what I'm doing anymore. So if you put it in the comments already, right on. If not, go ahead and do it right now real quick. But what we're gonna do is the Colorado flag. Why? Because I'm from Colorado. As you can see, the Denver upside down. Now it's right. I'm a Colorado fan, a big one at that. So, nothing better to do than a Colorado flag on the gambler car. Okay? So I'm gonna be marking out a big old red section. What I'm gonna do is just make a circle. And this is where I want it to be, because you know, I don't want it centered. Colorado flag isn't centered. I want it to look like the flag. So I just brought over yonder way, and I realized, you know, these are put kinda in thirds, and it looked like it'll be a perfect lineup position. So that's where I'm gonna go. And then this is center between the white lines here. And then obviously my line to, you know, I'm gonna put a dot there and make a big circle, you know, using some cardboard. Such as this. We're gonna put a little hole here. That's gonna stay on this end. And then I'm gonna measure how big I want my circle, you know, to be. And then I'm just gonna put the dang radius on there, and then we'll just make a big old whoop-dee. So here's what I got going down. I got this cardboard here, one hole that I'm gonna put this little headlight holder bracket thing, I think is what it is. Shoot, it might even be a tent stake. I don't know what it is. But what I'm gonna do is put it in this hole, and then I'm gonna put my pin in this hole, and I'm gonna put the stake here or whatever it is on my mark on this end and hold her down as hard as I can so it don't go nowhere. And then I'm just gonna bring this pin around. Make a perfect circle. I switch hands. So now, when you get up on it, you can see a very faint little line all the way around, okay? It's kind of hard to see in the blue section because I used blue ink, but it kind of scratched it. You can see it. And then we're gonna bring our tape, said tape, in this circle. And then obviously, this is trying to make a C with this red color here, so we don't want to fill in this part. We want to just bring her in, and you know what I'm saying. Soon later, not very soon, after very carefully actually following this line the best of your abilities, you know, now it's not perfect, but it is close the freak enough to run it. I'm happy with it. Now I gotta figure out where my little chunk is gonna come out to make the C. And I'm just gonna eyeball it here, because that's what I do best. And we'll be spraying in no time. Here it is. Just, you know, an eyeballer. I took a picture off my phone and, you know, I kind of guesstimated up here and put the line where I thought I'd like it. And then I took some measurements from this line to that line, and then from where this was to that was. And I kind of duplicated the bottom line to do the same. And then I just threw this little piece in just cuz, you know. And you see these little blue marks here, that's where the actual line will end up becoming when this circle here turns yellow. That's right. So I'm pretty impressed. I can dig it. Now I'm thinking a good mask job on the outside so I don't ruin none of this. Maybe a double layer, maybe plastic this time, I'm not sure. And we spray this bad boy red. You know? Whole lot, and I mean a whole lot of paper later. Think we're ready to do some spraying. I got the double layer this time so it doesn't bleed the blue through. We're gonna go with this apple red, or the Rust-Oleum kind. Test patch. Shake her up again. Let's send it. A quick light dusting. Kind of a bummer here. I don't know if you can see where that white is. That red definitely pops more. So hopefully I could get this to come around and do the same. So I came ahead and real quick while it was still moist, I just sprayed this little section where it was darker. Just one more coat. Now I'm gonna let her just dryolate and come back and I'll get her one good one again. It definitely seemed to do a little bit of a difference. So that's good. Now we just wait, you know, waiting begins. Woo! You know, I got a little impatient again. And I gave her a second coat only like 5 minutes after letting it go. You know, but dang, look at it now. The reds are blending together. You can't see that this used to be darker. So I think I can just leave this alone for the 48 hours. We'll be good to go. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. So I better walk away before I ruin it again. A good hour or so after I sprayed, and whoo-wee. The red is this consistent from top to bottom. The lines are as crispy as they can be. This guy, finally a happy guy. with this dang hood. It's been way too long, and I'm finally happy with it. So I got one color left. Hopefully I don't mess that one up. It's possible. But we just work through those. Just, you know, keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Pretty much is what you can do. That's it. And then you'll end up with something that you're impressed with, that you're happy with, and we could just keep going. Now the wait for this 48 hours begins now. So I'll see you guys soon. Days later, the red's ready to be painted on. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the red, with the yellow, because it's just a little circle here. We don't have to worry about doing this little piece here. It's just a circle. So I got my piece, my holder, and I made a new mark. And I got a whole different pen because, you know, I couldn't find the one I used the other day. Now it's gonna make our much smaller circle, which should be half of that pretty much, which looks pretty close to half anyway, you know. But what I really did is I took some measurements from pretty much this line to this line, because that's kind of what the flag looks like. And put a little center dot. There she is, a little center dot. And we're gonna do the same thing. Make a little circle, taper off everything, and then spray her and let her wait. You know the ordeal by now. Let's get that center. Let's give our pen a little whirl. This pen is way better than that other pen did. Now you can see a little more what I was thinking, because the lines there. You know, and I pre-planned for that. That'll get filled in and it's just gonna look perfect. But what you can't tell is my measurements turned out to be perfect, you know. Little concentration and some patience, that'll do ya. Now we got the line, we went right outside the line all the way around because the line won't rub off anymore once the ink dries. So we're just gonna paint over it. And it's not gonna affect it too much because we're like right on the line all the way around as it is. Now that I got a good line, I'm just gonna mask this off real quick. Wipe it down real nicely and then spray her. Got this puppy masked out. I also did a spray shot over there and a spray shot here. And this is, if you're curious, this is the color. It's just yellow to me. Blow off the surface area. Now we're just gonna give her a quick coat now. Just a quick one. Walk away for a few minutes. So the best thing I've learned over this adventure of doing this hood alone, of doing the multicolors and stuff, when you go to do your second coat, you kind of want this just a little sticky. Can you hear it? Okay, that means she's ready for coat 2. And this one you could put on a little heavier than round 1. I'm gonna go the opposite direction, because that's what I like to do. Fog it. See how she's thickening up? You can kind of see she's kind of becoming a solid color. I'm just gonna let that stick up again. And then I'm gonna do one more, and I think I'm gonna call it. I came back, gave her another hefty coat. And you can tell because this line almost disappeared. So, as long as these flies and the wind don't pick up and land stuff in it, we should be good to go. I'm gonna let this dry up a bit so I can peel my tape and see how she looks. I'm so excited. Can't wait to do the clear coat so it'll last a minute. But so far, it looks the way it's gonna look. As long as I don't mess this up again, you know? So I'm praying we're just gonna do a good job and walk away now. There it is, man. Looks like the Colorado flag finally. Woo! Got some pretty crispy lines again. Pretty impressed. It is warm enough though, you can kind of see my tape had messed with the previous color. And I also got a little air bubble that I missed with some tape. But I think that'll buff out. And those will buff out. And that'll buff out. No problem. And then we'll clear coat this bad boy. Me likey. So this is a good case of Mikey likey, if you ever ask me. So now we just gotta let it sit here, dry out, and come back later to continue this again. So it's been plenty of time now that should be dry. I did come back and sand down our little blue marks, you know, that bled through, so those are gone. The little yellow one that was in this area, that's a goner. We did gain a little bit of a scratch there, but we're gonna just paint over it, you know. And I got this gloss clear. It's an acrylic enamel when all these colors were just an enamel. Okay, so I did a little test run here on this guy, and well, it wrinkled up, but it was really heavy right here, and I kind of like messed it up. So if I keep her thin, she won't wrinkle. So I'm probably have to do like 5,000 really light coats on this bad boy. Now's the time to see, you know. It's now or never, make it or break it type deal. Oh no. Oh no. Almost ruined it. All right, so we did an emergency move. Came up, set up on the other side of the shop because it's not windy over here and it's hot as heck. Oh, and by the way, This stuff does say on the back to do not breathe vapors. You know, somewhere on there it does. So wear a mask, is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna. Now I'm actually getting it on the hood this time. Like I said, we're just going for a dusting so we don't wrinkle up that beautiful Colorado flag now. So I came back and did a second coat. Forgot to hit the camera. So this is going to be the third coat. I also did the second coat this way instead of this way like I did the first time. Just because, I don't know, I like to crisscross my patterns. So I'm going to come back again from side to side and go this way. Again, and give her a little dusting. A little more than we did last time and the time before that.
Are you filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's what we're looking like. It's starting to get a real nice glossy sheen. It's starting to even out, so I think this last can actually might do her. Get rid of a couple hazy spots. But man, I'm digging it. I'm glad that it's not wrinkling. Even though we got a little mishap there, or some lines here and there, but you know, overall, from a distance, she looks good. For spray paint, she looks beautiful, you know. Get this last can sprayed on real quick, huh? No, I'm still not gonna put a mask on, because I don't want to. Don't say anything. So it's been plenty of time for this crazy cool Colorado flag hood to dry. I did get the thing mounted onto the car because this weekend prior was 4th of July and there was a little parade in the town, and I was such in a rush to get it on the car that I forgot to even film it. So here's how cool it looked during the parade. And here's how cool it looks just now. She does got some water spots on her because, you know, I didn't get it buffalated and waxed and stuff like that, but the thing just looks really cool. I love the hood. So it was really cool to be able to at least get this hood put on before this parade and be able to take the car out further on the parade. You know, I've never done something like that before. That was my first time ever. Got a lot of attraction to the car, so it was really cool. Made me happy that I could keep pulling forward. But that's gonna be it for this video. We're donezo. We're gonna pull in the radiator support here in another video so we could get the other headlight on and eventually get fenders on this thing and wrap this whole thing around together. There's plenty of content for this car coming around. So if you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel, because we will be taking this car on a Gambler 500 and we will be doing some wild stuff with that. And I'm definitely gonna give her some good test runs before we go. So be looking out for that on the YouTubes. Thanks for watching. We're here for a good time, not a long time.